Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching and listening to me from. My name is Victoria Olayemi, and I will be taking you through today's training. So I need you to get your pen, get your paper, make sure you're not distracted. Let's dive into this training. Forex trading terminologies, understanding the language of the Forex market. What is Forex? Forex simply stands for foreign exchange market. It is a global marketplace where currencies are traded, and it is one of the largest financial markets in the world. Forex is open 24 hours a day and 5 days a week. I need to add to it also that crypto is open 24/7 a day. It's been traded 7 days a week. So the crypto markets do not close. People exchange currencies to travel, to do international businesses, invest, or trade for profit. Now, I'm currently in London, right? Let's take, for example, I want to travel to the United States, right? I need to exchange my Great British Pound to the United States dollar to enable me to do my shopping and do whatever transacts in the United States. Now, who participate in the Forex market? We've got the banks, hedge fund companies, governments, retail traders, like you and I. Now, what has been traded in the foreign exchange market? Of course, currencies. Now, one currency cannot be traded on its own. So we need another currency to make it a currency pair. A currency pair shows the value of one currency compared to another. It tells you how much of one currency you need to buy 1 unit of another currency. Now, let's take, for example, Euro USD. Now, I need you to note that the first currency pair is usually the base currency, while the second currency is the quote currency. So we usually buy the base currency and simultaneously sell the quote currency. I said, I give you an example that I'm in London right now in the United Kingdom. Now, I need my Great British Pound, right? I need to buy the US dollar and simultaneously sell my Great British Pound, right? Now, let me give you another example. Euro USD, $1.10. If I want to buy 1 euro, it's going to cost me $1.10 in order for me to buy 1 euro. Now, another example, USD JPY. USD, which is the best currency, JPY, which is the quartz currency. So I need 150 Japanese yen in order for me to be able to buy $1. Bid and ask price. Bid simply means buying price. The bid price is the highest price a buyer will pay for an asset. Ask price, selling price. The ask price is the lowest price a seller will accept. Spread. Spread simply means difference between the bid and ask price. As you can see in the background of the video, see the space in between, those two lines moving, the red and the blue line. The space in between is actually your spread, and that is how the brokers actually make their profit. What is a pip? A pip is percentage in point. It is the smallest change in price in a Forex currency pair. Now, how do you calculate your pip? There's an example here, right? To calculate your pip is usually the fourth decimal place. If you count 1, 2, 3, the fourth decimal place, that is how you count your pip. So 1 pip, right? Now, USD JPY, I want you to understand that any currency pair that carries JPY in it is usually the second decimal place. So that's 1, 2, the second decimal place. Now, another example, right? This pip movements for Euro USD, right? The fourth decimal place is changed from 1.35361 to 1.35371. That is 1 pip movement. USD JPY is always the second decimal place. So from 110.40 to 110.41, that is 1 pip movement. Lot size. Lot size is directly determines how much money you gain or lose for every price movement in the market. A larger lot size means greater exposure and higher potential risk and reward. So if you use a bigger lot size, just know that, yes, if the market goes in your way, yeah, you get a bigger profit. But at the same time, remember, put it at the back of your mind that if the market doesn't go in your way, yeah, your risk is very, very high. You tend to lose more. And while a smaller lot size reduces exposure and limits potential losses. Now, this table shows you a safe lot size for every account size. So if you have $100 in your account, the safest lot size is 0.01, $200, 0.02, $500, 0.05, and so on. So now we've got the standard, mini, micro, and nano. So we usually use the micro, mini, and standard lot size. So per pip, if you're using a 0.01 lot size, it translates in dollar, meaning that's 10 cents per pip. So for every price movement, for every pip movement, rather, if you're using a 0.01 lot size, that's 10 cents per pip. So if you're using a 0.10 lot size, that translates in dollar, that's $1 per pip movement. If you're using a 1 lot size, that translates to $10 per pip movement. Now, if you go on your MT5, this table here, this is how you actually show, how you actually change your lot size. Now let's move to the next one. Now we've got order types, yeah? So we've got the market execution, we've got buy limits, we've got sell limits, we've got buy stop, we've got sell stop. So market execution simply means once I go on my MT5, I go into the market, let's say I want to buy XAUUSD, I want to buy at that exact price. So I'm entering the market immediately at that price, right? Buy limit simply means I want to buy at my own price. So I set a limit, yeah? So the current price will probably be around here to always be at the top. So I want the market to come back down to this price and then go in my direction, which simply means bullish upwards, right? Now, sell limit, I want the market to sell. So I want to sell at this particular price. So let's assume that the prices are actually here. The current price is here, yeah? I need the market to go back up and then come back down to my direction to sell. Buy stop. Buy stop simply means I want the market is actually below, yeah, and I see that the market is gonna be going upwards, right? I want the market to pick me up at that price and continue in that direction. Sell stop, the same thing, yeah. I want the market to continue in my direction at the sell. So once the price gets here, I want it to trigger my price, right? And then go all the way down. We've got take profit, stop loss order. Now, take profit simply means you're taking your profit, and stop loss simply means you want the losses to be cut. Yeah, so if you enter around here, you set your take profit, you set your stop loss, yeah? So I enter here, and for a buy, of course, I want the market to go up and take me out in profit. But if the market does not go my way, and it hits my stop loss, it's going to limit my losses, and I still have capital to trade with. Let's move on. We've got trailing stop loss. Now, let's say I entered this market right here, right? And the first diagram actually shows me entering the market. I've set my stop loss, I've set my take profit. Now, the market has decided to go in my direction. It's right now is in profit, right? All I need to do is move my stop loss, right, below the entry price. If I'm going for a sell, I want to move my stop loss below the entry price. But if I'm going for a buy, I want to move my stop loss above the entry price. So meaning I'm trailing my stop loss until take profit. Yeah, I'm moving my stop loss. Yeah, I'm trailing it. The market, if you see this candle is around here, right? I've moved my stop loss to entry price. So even if the market goes in the opposite direction, I'm still going to come out in a profit. Yeah. So moving your stop loss to break even. So when a trader or one of the educators or anybody that sends the trade idea tells you move your stop loss to break even, this simply means you're moving your stop loss to entry price, slightly below because of spread. Yeah. you move your stop loss to entry price. So this diagram on my other side, yeah, I moved my stop loss right here, and then I moved it below the entry price if I'm going in for a sell. But if I'm going in for a buy, I move my stop loss right above the entry price. So let me quickly go on trading view and show you some other stuff and things we've actually talked about. So I'm going to be going on trading view right now and showing you some stuff. So we talked about bid price and ask price in our training, right? So you see these two lines fluctuating, the red and the blue. Yeah, the space in between is really tiny right now. So yeah, the space in between is actually your spread. And if you come on here, this is where you can actually type in your currency pairs. Let's say Euro USD, Euro USD. And I advise for every broker, you choose your broker, right? I use Vantage, so I can just click on Vantage, yeah, and then that's it. We talked about how to calculate your PIP, yeah? Every currency pair that does not carry JPY, yeah, is usually the fourth decimal place. So we have Euro USD, yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, the fourth decimal place, and that is your PIP. That's where you start counting your PIP from. So let's say JPY right now. Let's do USD JPY. Oh, USD JPY. Yeah, you can see the second decimal place. That's where you start counting your PIP from. So time frame. So some people are, oh, what's 1 minute time frame? What's 5 minute time frame? So 1 minute time frame simply means 1 minute time frame simply means it takes 1 minute for a candle to form. Now, if I go my 5 minute time frame, takes 5 minutes for this candle. So for every of this candle you're seeing, it takes 5 minutes for each candle, right? It takes 5 minutes for each candle to form. So I hope you understand. I need you to go back to the training, make sure you listen to it over and over and over again. You can pause it wherever and jot things down and make sure you are doing your training properly. So I'm going to see you. Thank you for listening and bye for now.